What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So we're talking about Jaylen Ramsey again because they keep talking about Jaylen Ramsey. There's a lot of reporting going on. There's so many teams rumored to be interested. It's hard to know what's true, what's not true. What we haven't seen is any concrete offers from anyone. So we have to take everything like it could be a thing. And right now they're saying that the Dallas Cowboys are the latest team that could be connected to him. Now, let me say in full transparency, this feels like a long shot to me. The Cowboys cap is kind of in a weird place. They're giving Dak a bunch of money. Uh, I don't know if they're going to give Pickett's a contract. They might. Micah Parsons' deal is a year away, and I'm sure they want to extend him before the year, especially given that these contracts keep going up. So whatever money they do have left over, it feels like Micah should be getting that money. And I don't see any scenario where they trade Micah Parsons. So I'm going to tell you this feels like a long shot. But I will tell you why it could possibly make sense, right? They have Trayvon Diggs, who is one of the better corners, off an injury, but when he last played fully and was healthy for the whole season, was a Pro Bowler. You add Jalen Ramsey to that. You have two 6'2", 6'3" size corners that are physical, that are good in coverage. And then in their division with the Commanders and with the Eagles, you got to be able to guard. Even the Giants, like someone got to guard Neighbors, right? It will make sense in a Jerry type move if he's pushing all the chips to the center, right? They're paying Dak a lot of money, and they just went and made a move and got Joe Milton, who a lot of people are thinking, talent wise, is more talented than Dak is. Not nearly the player, no real experience, only played a couple games. Dak's been there for a long time, hasn't gotten over the hump. I personally think Dak's pretty good, but Cowboys are their own thing. They're their own ecosystem, they have their own expectations. As much as people like Dak, Dak hasn't gotten it done to the level they want to get it done. Joe Milton's possible upside is as big as basically any quarterback. Super tall, giant arm, mobile, young. Like, it's all that stuff is part of that, right? But if the Cowboys are thinking, hey, we're about to give Micah Parsons at least $40 million a year, I would think. I assume he's going to push to get more than Myles Garrett. I don't know if he will. I think he probably should, actually, because he's younger. But he's going to push to get more than Myles Garrett. And then, you got CeeDee Lamb's deal that he just got. And they're going to just start spreading the money around the line even more. Then on defense, you got to spend. It's just a lot of money about to be spent. And they're already paying Dak a lot of money. Now, they moved a lot of that on the front end so they can kind of space it out in the back. But the idea for the Cowboys is, are we a championship now team or not? That's the number one question. Can we win right now? If they think they can win right now, because Jalen Hurts is younger than Dak, obviously Jayden Daniels is younger. So you got to think the futures for the Philadelphia and the Commanders are brighter. So if this is like, we have a 4-year window to win with the Cowboys, you got to think the 4-year window for Philadelphia and the Commanders is better because their quarterbacks are younger and cheaper at this point. I mean, Jayden Daniels is not getting paid for 3 more years. Crazy. I mean, technically 4, but they would extend him before that. But you have 3 years of cheap Jayden Daniels. So you can't tell me that the Cowboys have a 3-year plus window that's better than what the Commanders are. They got further than them last year with a cheaper quarterback. All they can do is just add pieces around them. So if the Cowboys feel like we got to win right now, we still got Detroit hovering out there. Green Bay has all this young talent, young quarterback. They're out there. Minnesota, we'll see if McCarthy's good. They're out there. Like, Tampa's still lurking out there. They do their thing. The Stafford have another run in them. There's a lot of teams. We haven't gotten to like the Atlantas of the world where, hey, Penix is, what can they be? The Cowboys have to win right now. That has to be their mentality. We have to win this year or next. We don't have this 5-year run. We have a 30-year-old quarterback. We got to make some moves. So in that thinking, Jalen Ramsey to the Cowboys makes sense because I think Jalen has 1 or 2 years of being at the level he's at before he's not good anymore, or at least not good enough to warrant the money he wants to get paid. So if this a situation of our window to win and his window to be good is the same window, then they can maybe make it happen. I think Jalen would love to be there. I mean, his energy and personality matches the Dallas market. He talks, he backs it up. He's flashy in his like demeanor and all that. Dallas is a different market, especially the Cowboys. You have to be able to deal with all the media stuff as in addition to playing the game. I think Jalen would be great there. So the question would be whether the contract will make sense and all that kind of stuff, draft compensation. Now, I will say Ed Werder, who is the most plugged-in Cowboys guy ever, has said that, according to his own reporting, this is not really being discussed right now. So I don't know if this was floated out there by Jaylen's team, by the Cowboys, by the Dolphins team. We don't know who put the reports out. Ed Warder said it's not a thing, but that could also be posturing because that's how these deals are done. People float things to the media. The media catches it, runs with it, and then it becomes a thing later on. So I don't know what the veracity of this report is, but I think it's for Jaylen, this would be fantastic. I don't know what the Cowboys will give us back, but we'll look and see what happens. Now, Pro Football Focus is a stat. They're an organization, whatever, that you see a lot. If you ever watch Sunday Night Football and you see like the numbers at the bottom, it will be like, Trent Williams, it'll say 1 of like 80 for his position. Those are Pro Football Focus stats. I do not know how Pro Football Focus does their reporting. I don't think anyone does. They just kind of have their own internal score mechanism. It's like around the horn, but for a giant organization. So they rank players the way to rank players. Generally, I think they're kind of in line. Like they'll say, oh, like last year George Kittle was the number 1 tight end. I'm like, yeah. Or Brock Bowers. Like those two are 1 and 2. I'm like, yeah, that felt about right. But sometimes you'll be like, oh, Kyle Hamilton's the 8th ranked safety. That doesn't seem right. So it can get a little dicey. I only bring this up because in 2023, at the end of the season, they did a Pro Football Focus like redraft effectively of all the running backs. So if you don't remember, that's the year that we got Devon Achane. Whoa, Dolphins. That's also the year Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs came out. Stat class, right? It's like a lot of good guys. And so obviously Bijan was the number 1 pick of that class, and then Jahmyr, and then 2 rounds later we got Devon. Apparently at the end of that season, they ranked Devon Achane as the number 1 running back of that rookie class. Now, that was based on that season production. Again, I don't know how they do all the intricacies of their metrics, but the biggest thing that jumped out to them was the explosive plays. And if you remember Devon, his rookie year, explosive. I mean, that's no other way to describe what he was doing. He had 103 carries for 800 yards. Literally, he almost had 8 yards a carry, which is absurd. Like, if you get 5 yards a carry, people are like, yo, you are toting. 5 yards a carry is like peak Adrian Peterson. That's Jim Brown, Barry Sanders territory. 8 yards a carry is absolutely ridiculous. You're almost getting a first down every time you carry the ball. That's what he was doing his rookie year. Now, again, he only played 11 games, so we didn't get a full season-like case study of it. But when you catch the ball, you hold 8. Like, if you think of it like that, that's absurd. Now, in real life, it was like 1, 4, 30, 3, 50. Like, it was like the numbers were like this. But just from an average by average basis, that's legit. Like, that's more than what, like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen get when they do their quarterback scrambles, where it feels like they get a lot of yards every time. But to be a primary running back and do that is crazy. Now, I only bring this up because they haven't released last year's Pro Football Focus rankings. I'm sure Jahmyr Gibbs is for sure 1 in that category now. Bijan was great last year too, but Jahmyr seems like he's even a notch above that. I bring it up because the question is, after that 1 year, Devon was the number 1 guy. Obviously, like, there was more nuance there in terms of how the teams were run, but could he end up actually being better than those 2 guys? Now, Detroit's offensive system has been better for Jahmyr because he has a great O-line and a second running back. They've lost Ben Johnson, so we don't know what Detroit's offense is going to be going forward. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is objectively a better player. Doesn't mean he's going to have a better career, though. Sometimes you could be just in a bad situation. We've all seen that. Bijan, I think, is in the most interesting spot because I think Atlanta wants to be a passing team. They went and got the quarterback with the big arm. They have big receivers. They're in the dome. I think they want to be a passing team. Bijan's a decent receiver, but he obviously is primarily a running back. Miami is basically, we want to get the ball to our fast guys as quickly as possible. Devon is our fastest guy on offense. I'm saying that even more than Tyreek at this point, which means that he was really good in the receiving game last year because we needed him to be. But his rookie year, he wasn't really that big of a receiving threat. He was more of a running threat. So he's shown in 2 separate years, depending on what y'all need me to do, I can do it. What we haven't seen is a season where he's done both of those at a high level. And if he does both of those at a high level, I made the comp a couple months ago. Like, Marshall Faulk to me is the comp. Alvin Kamara, like, is more modern day. Some of y'all don't know Marshall Faulk, the GOAT. Marshall Faulk was awesome. But Marshall Faulk was, what do you need me to do? You need me to get 5 yards of carry? I can do that. You need me to run a route, like screens and like quick slants? I can do it. You want me to run down the field? I can do that too. He became the ultimate weapon to the point that he was an MVP. On a team with Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce and all these other, like, goated players, Torrey Holt, Oz Hakeem, like he was the guy. And so because H-Han is showing you both, it is curious. I still think Jameer is the best of the lot. I think at their ceiling, because he's so fast, though, I think it's not unreasonable to think that Devon, at his apex, could actually be better than both of those guys. But I guess time will tell. Now we're doing our future matchup. This is week 5 against the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. I know some of y'all are like, "Bull, Carolina's trash." I don't think they are. For some reason, I watched a lot of Carolina games last year. I like Bryce Young. I root for his story. I think he just was treated horribly his first year. Terrible organization. They didn't do anything with the offensive line. He didn't have any weapons. His running backs were fumbling the ball a lot. Just a terrible situation. But late in the year, he started bringing it around. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Horn Jr. because you guys know I watched Colorado last year. And we'll see what Tet does. I wasn't the craziest fan, but his size is crazy. The reason I bring this up is that this is kind of a trap game. Because before week 5, we play Buffalo, New England, and Jets. 3 consecutive division games. And post this game, we play the Chargers. So you're thinking the 3 divisional games are just unbelievably important because you got to win in your division. You can't be bad in the division. It kills your playoff chances. Everybody knows this. Also, we should for sure win 2 of those 3. If we win 3 of those 3, that sets us up for a great situation. But then the Charger game is one of those pivotal games where the teams are basically evenly matched, and you just got to get the job done. But then in between those is, we get a little bit of a break with Carolina. Maybe not. Maybe not. They're a sketchy team, man. You got to, just from watching them last year, they should have won more games. They were finding ways to lose games. I mean, I don't know what was going on. Guys fumbling in overtime, like Leggett not being able to catch the ball against Philadelphia. Like, there's a number of games where I was like, man, Panthers should win this game. And then they didn't, just found a way to lose because bad teams find a way to lose the game. I think Carolina is a team that I would almost rather play a team that I know is good than a team like Carolina. Because Carolina just hangs around, and Bryce Young started showing late in the year that he has some of the Alabama still in him. And if you give him a little bit of time, he was making throws. I implore y'all, go back and look at the YouTube of his last year throws that were just completed just in some drives or just drop passes because guys were dropping a lot of passes. I mean, him flowing left, dropping passes over defender's shoulder. I'm like, dude, he was making some high. Go watch the game against Kansas City. Carolina, Kansas City last year. Just go look at the throws he was making when Spags was sending all-out blitzes. He was in the pocket just looking down the barrel against the Chiefs that were 2-time defending champs trying to knock him out, and he just kept making throws. I'm telling you, Carolina's better than you think they are. We should win the game. Make no mistake about it. That's a dangerous team, and they've only added weapons. I think their defense should be a little bit better, but their offense for sure, I am not looking forward to playing. And again, it's in Carolina right before a big-time matchup against the Chargers. I think this is a really bad trap game. And I can see fans looking at the schedule like, oh, Carolina, we got it. I'm telling you, Carolina's dangerous. So this is a game that I hope people really tune in for, lock in on, and, hey, get the job done. Because you don't want to take that loss and then have to go play the Chargers right afterwards and be in this weird pocket. I'm just saying, Carolina's better than you think they are. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes, subscribes, reshares, all that good stuff, the comments. We appreciate that. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.